Okay, so this is the jury notice. This is the summons, we call this, okay, that you get sent in the mail. You don't find out until you get home one afternoon and go, there's some mail, there's Bill, Sheriff's Office. And you, first thing you think in your head is, have I done something wrong? Okay? But then you open it up and you get this letter. This is the front page. Obviously, and the Sheriff of New South Wales, jury summons, okay? So what we have here is the number to contact if you can't do it. I'll talk about things that you can and cannot do. It's in New South Wales. That's where your name and address would be on the letter. Obviously, I've blanked that out because I don't want you boys to find out where I live, okay? Here we have the year, okay, the time, okay, the juror number that I would have, okay? So this is, you don't walk in and go, my name's such and such, Mr. Ship, whatever. You go in with a jury number, okay? Now this is the interesting stuff down here. Failure to attend may result in a fine of up to $2,200, okay? So if you just go, no, see you later, okay, I'm not going to do anything about this and completely ignore it, okay, you could be fined that amount, okay? It's a civil duty to sit on a jury in this country, and you can also be punished for it as a crime. We've also got here the different, where you would have to go. You're required to appear as a juror. That's what we call someone that sits on a jury. It was either for this time in 2010 for me, it was going to be the district or Supreme Courts. I had to attend on Monday, the 13th of September 2010, the Downing Centre, okay, which is the courts that I'd like to take you to. It's got local and district courts at the Downing Centre, but I wouldn't sit on the local court because there's no jury for that one, okay? The Supreme Court's across the other side of Hyde Park, okay, close to where the Downing Centre is. So I could have been asked to go and sit on one of those too. Estimated length of the trial would be 8 weeks. Now, at this time I was a teacher. I was actually teaching legal studies at this time as well. And automatically in my head I went, you know what? They won't ask me to go on a jury because I teach law. Okay, why would they, ask me at all? The law did change around this time period to actually include more people. Okay, and I'll get to that later on. So, other things that are on this letter, okay, are inquiries about where you could contact. Some people physically can't sit on a jury. And on the back of it, on the letter, it's not on this itself, but it has an exemption list. Now, the exemptions that are allowed would obviously, if you've been found found guilty of a crime, you would not be able to sit on a jury. So if you're found guilty of something and then you're actually, sentenced after that, you may be excluded from sitting on a jury in the future. Also, we said under 18s, okay. You also, a lot of people get exempted because they look after children. Now, for me, as a teacher, that wouldn't give me automatic exemption, okay? In 2010, what I did was I actually went in there because I was wanting to actually sit on a jury being a legal studies teacher. But I didn't want to sit on there for 8 weeks, okay? Now, what I did was I put in a special request that I had a 2-week maximum that I could sit on, okay? My excuse, and obviously they asked for an excuse, my excuse was I'm a HSC teacher and I didn't want to go that long to miss out on my wonderful students in 2010, so their HSC marks wouldn't be affected, okay? I went in on that day, Monday the 13th of September, and it was about 8:45 in the morning. You walk in and it was about an hour of waiting. And in that hour they showed you a video, this is what you do to be a juror, and I'm sitting there going, I teach this in class, okay? It's the same kind of stuff, and I'm going to show you some of this stuff as well. Then what they do is they start calling out numbers. And then you go to a courtroom and they ask you about your special requirements. There was actually a guy in front of me that was saying, I've got to go to work, okay? I'm the only one that works. And they go, no, sorry, sit down, okay? He was very, very angry, and he, was trying to think of other ways to get out of it. That's what happens sometimes, unfortunately. There was another woman next to me who actually had 2 children under the age of 3, and she was exempted from not sitting on one as well. Another one in my group said, I'm going on a holiday. And the thing that they asked that man was, well, when do you get back? And they found out that he was getting back in 3 months' time, and so he would have received another letter to sit on a jury. Okay? Within 12 months, you can be asked about 5 times. Because even like a teacher, if I used HSC teaching, they asked me another time in 2012 to come and sit again. I just kept putting in that reason, and they kept exempting me. Okay? Questions?
Like, what if you have like work and stuff, like really important meetings, and they ask you to go?
What will happen is that your employer will cover you for your duties to sit on a jury. That will not be a sufficient reason to not sit on a jury. Okay? What happens is that companies have a sector of their employment to be able to look after people who are away on jury service. Okay, so it's no harm on the companies.
So they won't fire you.
No, they can't. And if they do, they'd be in trouble.
Now, how you said like under 18s can't do it. What if you like just turned 18 or you're 19 or 20? Do they have to give you like less serious cases?
No, they don't. No. They will randomly select you for certain for the cases that you could sit. If you've said 2 weeks or they won't.
So you can't like put an excuse like I'm too young, I want to do this murder case.
The only time you can do that, we're going to see that in the video coming up, is when you are not comfortable with sitting on a particular trial. Okay? So, for example, a mother with a child case may say, I'm not comfortable sitting on that. Okay? And at that stage, the judge will say, that's fine, go back to the jury room, and they just simply select someone else. Okay? But that doesn't automatically, like, you can't just keep going, oh, I don't want to do on that case, oh, no, not that case, oh. You can't keep going through that way. That eventually you may be chosen. But there's a lot of people in the room that were asked to go away that day because of the supply and demand of the cases too.
Is there ever a time where the prosecution or the defense chooses the jury?
We will get to that, and the video will show that. There are certain rights that the prosecution can have, and the defense has. When the jury's been selected, they can actually challenge jury members to not be sitting on the case. And I'll show you that in the video coming up. Last question?
So then for the 8 weeks, right? Like, so does that mean that every single like work day you have to go and sit there? Like 8 weeks in total?
That's right. Okay. So,
Your workload and everything.
well, that'll be looked after somebody else by a company. Okay? And that's what happens. My wife sat on a jury selection for, I think it was 6 or 7 weeks. Okay, and in her job, they have to actually employ a casual worker to take on her workload. Okay? Yep.
She still get paid?
Yes. Okay, I'll show you the payments. There's a certain amount you get paid up to 2 weeks, and then you get paid a bit more after 2 weeks. Okay, I think it's $200 or something roughly a day. Okay, but some people will be going, yeah, I get more money than what I usually get. A lot of people would say, I don't. Okay, because that's not the amount that they would make from their company. Okay.